Welcome to another episode of Husbands Watching Housewives. I'm Scott.
And I'm Jeff.
And we just watched an episode of The Real Housewives of New York City.
We did.
And, yeah, they're not doing themselves any favors, I'll say.
It was really convoluted.
It was convoluted on a subject that people were already, ourselves being people that I'm most worried about, like, over. I was already over it. And it was like, okay.
It got, like, just so... like so many layers in a bad way.
Yeah, and then
like it was like layer upon layer upon. Why do I care? Why do I care?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. And then it came down to whether when Brynn found out what, you know. It just seems like a weird.
And who knew that? So.
Hold on one second. Thanks for joining us. Subscribe to our shit. Come on, watch us more. We got another episode on after this. Go back, watch some old ones. We love you. Husbands Watching Housewives. All right, back to Brynn.
HWH. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things. Well, not so many things.
Yeah, there's just not enough things, I think, is the problem.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a nothing burger in the sense of, like, they're talking about something that didn't really happen. If she had actually been pregnant... and then it would have been
suggesting that she is pregnant.
No, it was Erin told Brynn. This is how this.
Oh, right.
That she was pregnant, but it wasn't a stranger. They knew it was her husband.
Right.
So Brynn only was half in on it.
Right.
So,
which does make sense that she was spreading the dirtiest parts of that, and she wasn't like really.
Well, she leaned into like, oh yeah, here she's the freak in the sheets. It's like worst consequences, and But I think it wasn't that it was boring. It was just that like it wasn't good. So I wasn't bored. I was actively like, why is this happening? Why is this being made so convoluted and complex when it shouldn't be? It should just be like, because Erin shouldn't have told anybody. She shouldn't have told Racquel. She should not have told Brynn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, should have avoided Brynn at all costs until Rebecca was ready to be like, psych,
mm-hmm.
And she didn't. And so Erin made it convoluted.
Yeah. Erin. And they're right. Erin.
She messed it up. She wrote her own joke. Yes.
Or whatever, could have been a telling part of the joke. She ruined it.
And when we watch next week's episode, she's going to be like, well, no, I da-da-da-da. And they have like a whole other point of view. And they'll be like, no, that's not what Brynn said. And Brynn knew then and not now. And then Racquel now is a bone to pick with Erin. And so, but let's start from the beginning. And
really?
Well, I mean, because now we're sounding convoluted and like over complex.
No, if you watched it, we're not the convoluted ones. We are not the convoluted ones.
It just is. They like reveal it's a prank at dodgeball, and then that was the flashbacks when they were like their mouths were moving, and then Erin said
it kind of had like a good old like detective story, or like whodunit recreation,
and the music too was like yeah. So that was kind of funny, but like it was a choice by production to not tell the audience and not show us that scene, and also the scene at the double date where Racquel was clued in on it. So I think if we had known, it would have been better, but it made it more confusing than it needed to be.
Yes. I would agree.
Yeah.
I didn't like that towards the end of the dodgeball thing, they were kind of turning around on Erin already to be like, these women here are trying to have children.
Well, I mean, but that's a valid point, like 3 of them are trying to have kids, and you're kind of, pregnancy is kind of, there could have been a better rumor to go with, like she's cheating on her husband. Like she was in a, playing Russian roulette and, with like, all these men. Right. It could be like Rebecca's a big freako.
Right.
Not that she's pregnant. Like she's cheating on her husband. He doesn't know she's having this big affair. That I think would have been a better thing to spread and to see who like, talks amongst the group. So they should have just like taken baby out of it. And I see the point, when they flash like Ubah and Jessel, especially because that's her main storyline, trying to have a kid and being reproductively challenged, and Brynn, yeah. So
yeah,
it wasn't the best. There was one, you should have kept to yourself between the 2 of them. There was a prank. 2, the prank should have been a better rumor, and then yeah, that's just there's two things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that I even in general needed all the baby storylines this episode, because that ended up being
Jessel
and
Pavit.
Dory.
Not Dory.
Jessel and Pavit eating salsa.
Douchey Dory.
Yeah.
He just, I have to stop there. I still cannot stand Pavit.
I find him to have some sort of charm. I don't know what it is. He's not like repulsive to me.
He's not repulsive, but he's a douche.
Like my eyes
his
don't
whole
roll when
his demeanor is just so douchey.
I think he's just a bad actor, because I think, to me, what I think bothers me the most when he's on camera is that he's just like, I don't know. I think he's just not sincere about whatever he's delivering, because I don't know.
Well, because like she said, he treats everything like a joke. And then it's a joke, and it's also condescending. If you said to me, "We'll see," like 5,000 times, I would, as Erica Jane said, smack the shit out of you. Like, that's annoying as hell. We'll see. It sounds like something my mom would say or my dad would say. And it's like, that's your wife. Like, can you have a actual conversation? And the fact that she's like, well, he said 1%, and now, the door's only slightly ajar. And I'm like, girl, you're going awful. Like, you're hoping for a lot off a little.
If it's true what she says, though, that he's just usually very like cut and dry and stuff, and the fact that he's saying, okay, maybe, that's a glimmer, I guess.
I'm going to need like more. I guess he did say, we're really busy, and then like having 2 kids is a lot as it is, but he really is more leaning into like the expense of it, and like,
it's hard to book airline tickets when you have 5 kids. Hotel, you have a 3rd kid, you need 2 hotel rooms. Because you can't put 3 kids in one queen size bed. What? Yeah, get that.
That's what I was thinking. It's like, well, but if there are different ages, though, you wouldn't want like 4-year-olds with like a newborn baby.
Well, no, but I mean,
yeah. Well, I guess you wouldn't have a newborn baby; it'd be on vacation.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you did, then they'd be in your bed. I mean, he's just making. That's what makes me think he's just making stuff up, either to be obstinate and to be a jerk, and a douche in your words, or he's just playing into whatever story they talked about before the season started. Like,
I don't think it's a story. I think he straight up is like, I don't want to have this kid, but I know it'll make her happy, but I really don't want to have this kid.
He seems too tongue-in-cheek, sort of like about it, to really be like, if it was something he really didn't want, he'd be like, no. Like he would have some sort of.
But he has said that too. He's like gone back and forth. Sometimes it's tongue-in-cheek, and sometimes it's like, no, we had the discussion, and it's no. It's no in every language.
I don't know. I feel like the no he gave for different things last year seemed a lot more real than the no's he's giving. So I'm sensing bullshit coming out of him is basically what I'm getting.
I wonder, would this even be a topic of, would this even be a thing if they had boy-girl twins?
Oh, yeah, maybe it wouldn't be.
Because it'd just be like, we have one of each. I think the focus is more so like, I want a girl, and I know I can have a girl because that's what our embryos are, versus the 3rd kid.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah,
very well could be.
Because I feel like once you have the boy girls, that's the goal for everybody. Not for everybody, for a lot of people. Because then it's like, well, we have one of each, and we're done. 2 is more than enough, and they're twins, so it's happening at the same time.
Right.
So, yeah.
I think it's more common though for twins to be of the same gender, though I might be making that up. But I think because the chance of identical twins and all that means they would be in general. I think it's more rare for them to be boy-girl twins. But again,
would you prefer boy-girl or boy-boy or girl-girl?
Talking about kids?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I think probably same. I'd probably boy-boy or girl-girl, just because then they could share clothes. Not for the practicality of it, but then that way,
it is, yeah.
But then if they were identical, they could do that whole Freaky Friday sort of like my teacher didn't know which one was which sort of jokes.
Parent Trap. Yeah.
Thank you. That'd be more fun, I think. So either way, as long as they're identical, before you're going down the twin route. My boss has twins. I never stopped to ask if they were identical.
Oh yeah.
I don't think they are. I've met one of them. Or maybe I've met both of them.
That's right.
I'm not sure.
Like, is this Dan or is it Dick?
I don't know. I'm going to ask him that tomorrow.
Oh.
Anyway, Yeah. Again, I really feel like Pavit's giving us a line of bullshit. Like, I think he knows one way or the other, and they've already made up their minds, and they're just kind of giving us storyline. I really, really, really do feel that, because he just doesn't seem sincere in the way he's actually answering things. Because if we were to go back to last season, where he's actually, talking about stuff, he seems a lot more decisive and a lot more just like adamant, like, no, we're not going to be doing that. Whereas this season, he just like seems to be all like, no, I'm gonna eat my chips, and so that's why I think there's just a good, there's something fake.
I'd rather have like a straight up no than just like you're just dicking me around basically, and you think you're being funny, but it's not funny. And put down the chips. We're on the Zoom therapy call.
Yeah. Not therapy.
Like
Zoom therapy.
If you're not going to be in person, again, this is not 2020.
Yeah.
We can be in this like.
Well, I mean, people use Zoom therapy
for the purpose of a reality show.
Gotcha.
It doesn't translate.
What do you think they were going to go to Mexico City for therapy?
No, or I'm sorry, it's freaking New York. Therapy or like falling out of trees. Okay, like come on.
Okay.
Come on, a guy who knows a guy. Like your next door neighbor's a therapist.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Can we ask what the hell is going on with Brynn babysitting, and then Gideon comes over,
and
she keeps talking about making embryo, like she's going to a reunion.
Let's make embryo.
Like, let's make embryo, and there's a weird cut in that scene where she like kind of pitches it to him again. He seemed confused. I was like,
she kept reiterating it. I think it's like I was like she's wearing him down, and then I thought it was like I didn't expect this. Let's table this. But he was like, no, let's do it. And I'm like, are you just saying this because there's a camera in your face?
Right.
Like no sane person would be like, sure, we've never talked about this before, but I got the sperm, you got the egg, let's make it happen. Like it was just too easy.
I like to remark that he never says no to her.
Yeah.
So that might be why.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm so yawny. That's like the 10th time I've yawned. Is the oxygen thinner up here?
Could be.
It's finally not hot up here. I'm finding other problems with it. What the hell?
Whether or not it actually happens is another thing.
Yeah. I didn't know that she had her eggs frozen. I don't know why she went to London for it.
At the reunion, but I forgot why she did it in London.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I have to imagine it's cheaper, or
I think it'd be more expensive.
That's why I was wondering if she had some sort of issues of citizen there. 15 eggs, please. I didn't know that you couldn't tell the health of the egg until the embryo was made. The IVF clinic we talked to, she made it seem like
they were going to get like
better eggs. Yeah, some fresh eggs that would be better. They had ways of knowing.
Yeah.
Maybe in London they don't.
In London, that's why she went to London. They know better in London. No, I feel like you would know if those would be good eggs, good candidates for the embryo. At least that's what I thought.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Now that you're saying, you said good eggs, I'm thinking of all the egg marketing, like give eggs a break. The incredible edible egg.
Humpty Dumpty. That's the question to ask.
Yeah, that's one we should remember to ask.
Yeah,
on Friday.
Yeah.
For Friday. Sorry. But yeah, in general, I don't know that I needed half an episode about eggs and pregnancy, but I guess I'm not their target audience.
Well,
I'm a gay man.
It was definitely, that's why I rewound that. I was like, wait, what did she just say? But yeah.
Also, whose kid was that she was babysitting? Just a friend?
Just a friend.
Huh.
You would think that she would get one of Erin's. They're young.
He's just handing borrow your kid.
You could borrow a child, or I guess size kids are a little bit older.
Yeah.
But
moving on, they ended up going to the sex shop. That's where.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, where Mel and
they're planning for their engagement.
That was awkward as hell.
I don't need to see a person with a collar on.
I don't mind that.
It
just seemed like it seemed like a very cliche like Housewives bit to begin with.
Oh, right.
And then you add into it the awkwardness of where they were. Yeah. And then clearly everyone working there, like, we're going to be on camera on a Housewives show.
Right. And then to bring like, and now let's talk about my mother. Like, she can't come to the thing. And it's like, but would you want her there?
No, not if you have sex toys galore.
No. I thought it was interesting, though, how she said, like, and it's probably true for a lot of people's parents, that they were very progressive when they were younger, and then as they age, they got more conservative.
That's true. They say about everyone, that even ourselves, that as we get older.
Yeah. No, there's certain things I'm a bit, not my politics, but I think certain things I'd be more conservative on versus how I would feel 45 versus like 25.
You're just saying you'd clutch your pearls about a few more things now,
right?
Than 20 years ago,
right? Because I'm just too old for that shit. Suddenly, I'm Danny Glover.
I try not to be that way as much as possible. Like, I try to keep in mind and remember that, like, I used to stay out till all hours of the night doing God knows what, and that,
Well, I think also, like, for me, it's a little bit different because I've always been kind of old, even when I was younger.
Okay, all right.
Don't drink, never done drugs.
You don't drink, don't smoke. What do you
do?
Yeah.
Yep.
Huh. Well, I'm gonna have to rid you of your pearls then.
Yeah.
So we're doing our 50s. I'm gonna be like, you're gonna go out and be young, and then you'll leave me.
No, and no to both. No, I'll always be old, and I'm never gonna leave you. You're stuck.
Then they went, so while Jessel and Erin took the kids and the parents to the play center.
Oh, that was weird also too. It's like seeing kids playing and then they're having adult toys. I'm like, I don't need that.
Yeah, the cut back and forth between the jerk-a-mole.
Oh my God.
That was funny though, actually.
It was funny. I would do it, but I didn't need to go from that to like kids playing with blocks. Like, that was not good.
Mom's cancer treatments. And,
oh my, right?
Yeah, it was.
And the bad chemo and the good chemo and the red devil chemo. I was like, oh, this is really...
Yeah.
Production is like, did they fall asleep? I don't know what happened this season versus last season.
I think that's the question that's on everyone's mind.
Yeah.
So
everyone's like blaming the women, but I'm like, I think production plays a big part in it too.
Don't blame the edit.
I'm not blaming the edit. I'm saying that it's a little fakakta.
It feels disjointed for sure.
Yeah.
And it might just be because there's no, especially in Housewives of late, where there's usually one or two main threads of a storyline that focuses the season. Like, this really doesn't have that. There's yet anyway. Like, there's no real rivalry. There's no real, no one's having beef with each other, like true beef. If you think about it, Brynn and Ubah got freaked out in like the first two episodes, and now they're fine.
Same with Brynn and Sai.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, like nothing is going on very long.
Well, I think it's like we got to move on, but I still am keeping my eye out on.
Yeah.
On my eye on you because I think you're still shady as F.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not completely forgiven, but like, we got to make a show.
Yeah.
Let's keep it moving. There are more things I like about you than I don't like. I think that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a horrible person. You would piss me off. I don't totally trust you, but I'm willing to move forward. And also, we're doing a show.
Yeah. Well,
and
sounds like next week they're going to be piling on Erin, and maybe she'll cry like she did in the hot tub.
She's totally going to cry.
She doesn't, especially when they show her towards the end, just walking up, everything's fine with me.
She's gonna walk up, oh my God, this is so pretty. And they're gonna be like, hey, and they're like, so, and they all are gonna like, and then like Racquel's gonna come in like, you lied to me. You told me the double date that she didn't know, but she knew. And it's like, it's like friends, like. I didn't know that she knew that I knew that we,
Yeah, it's funny because, it definitely has backfired on her. It's interesting what Brynn said, that like Erin doesn't remember telling her things, or Erin remembers them a different way. Like, because the way Erin told that story, she's like, well, I didn't say no one or the other. I just kind of went, which is kind of like, yeah, but no. I was like,
well, because she half told her, like she said,
Just
Erin needs to like start taking notes, like if she's gonna like keep up with this.
Yeah,
like Jessel. Remember, like first season, Jessel looked like she would keep notes on her phone because she's lost in the sauce.
Yeah,
and after a while, it's like it's not cute anymore.
So I mean, maybe this whole second half of the season is going to be a little bit more focused and give us the stuff that we're used to seeing. I would say the same kind of was true for Potomac so far is a little bit weird, but I think, we're seeing signs upcoming.
Oh, focusing. Yeah.
That they're going to be focusing in on a storyline. It just, not enough was going on. It's a shame that it's the second year for New York and everyone is so already over it. But
I think also bringing Rebecca into it, I think she and Brynn just need to have it out, and then so they can also move on, because it's like this weird, dumb friction. And so that's part of it, that she's like so quick to like talk shit about Rebecca. It's like, what's your issue with her? Is it Scientology?
Right.
That joke from Erin was pretty funny.
Which one?
When she was like, she's such a great actress. Maybe she got some pointers at the Celebrity Center.
Oh, pretty good. That was good.
Scientology jokes.
Yeah.
Was there anything else?
I don't think so. I mean, just the pigeon party and pigeon picnic, which part of me was like, okay, Ubah, I'm all into you. Like, this is how ladies relax. We don't go play dodgeball.
What is her point with that? Like, I'm going to show these ladies, show them what? You can sit on the ground and in Central Park like any other chick?
I think she just wants to have something more classy, I guess. But then it's like, oh, great, you have all these weird felt pigeon. And I'm glad
were the Hamptons not classy enough for her?
I guess not. But, I am glad that the pigeon... I mean, they're kind of trying to make pigeon happen, but it's also happening at the same time. Like, there are times, like, someone said, don't be pigeoning this.
Yeah.
Like, pigeon is a verb. That I object to.
Yeah.
But the fact that they, there's a common thread carrying through, and even in the scenes in the mid-season trailer, there's more pigeons in it, and then Jessel's trying to get a picture of the pigeon.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad there's a little bit of a theme,
I swear to God, there's going to be, like, a ginormous pigeon or pigeons on the set of that reunion. Like, so. In the background will just be like pigeons like throughout the room.
Be great. Can they get the pigeon lady from Home Alone? Can she show up? Although that's
a good cameo. Was she a real unhoused person, or was
no? I don't know much about Home Alone. I've only seen it once.
Home Alone 2.
I don't even know enough about Home Alone to know it was Home Alone.
No, it's Home Alone 2.
Oh, Lost in New York. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I have no idea. No, I think she was an actress.
Okay.
I want to say I've seen her in Law and Order. So
who hasn't been in a lot? What working actor in New York has not been on one of the Law and Orders?
I don't know.
You can't name them. Either it's like Law and Order, Gossip Girl, or there's another one.
Law and Order SVU.
No, it's all Law and Orders.
Oh, okay.
Like there's certain New York productions where you see.
Oh, Seinfeld had everyone on it back in the day, but
yeah, I think more so like out of work soap actors, or like little smaller character actors are on these shows.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, he'll come to me. Yeah.
So, I mean, I wish we had more to report on New York. I think New York wishes they had more to report on New York.
I think you're right, though, that the mid-season trailer looked good, dramatic. I'm looking forward. There's a costume party. I think Rebecca and Brynn finally do like go back and forth. There's the cast trip to Puerto Rico. Racquel sees her mom. Like, there's a lot of things that to come.
And
still to come, if you will.
What I'm worried about, though, is that and I'm sure Bravo is too, that maybe they've already lost any momentum and people just fallen off the show. And
that's a good way to say momentum. I think has definitely been lost.
Yeah. And again, I want New York to succeed in that I don't want to hear anyone complaining about how much it sucked or them trying to reboot it. Or I also don't want to lose another franchise.
I don't either. I don't want this show to go on pause. I think New York is it's the second show in the franchise after OC, and there's a lot of importance to it, and I know a lot of that came from the OGs, but like I feel like they need to continue on. I think it's a good cast.
Yeah,
I think this is just a very lopsided, uneven season,
and I think
there's potential there. It's not totally lost.
And I think people expect too much of these newer shows.
Yeah.
Like I think, obviously the second season of the original New York was, it was, lightning in a bottle. You can't, it was unique. OC, obviously, it was the first time it was done. So, the second season doesn't stand up. But was the second season of Atlanta, like, everyone on board immediately? Like, or was the second season?
I think first season, everyone was on board. I mean, they dropped one housewife who was, didn't really do much. But I think Nene and Kim were such breakout characters.
Right.
And Sheree to a certain extent. So definitely they made the show, and it just like kept growing and growing and building and building. And New York isn't building.
And I guess
that's the thing.
I'm trying to compare it to the older shows when we have Salt Lake City right here, where first season was good. So
second season was like Jen getting arrested, right?
And then Jenny was on the show. That's
right.
But I think it seemed like her name was Jen E. Jenny.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I guess it's possible to make it good. So maybe I shouldn't be so like devil's advocate for the second.
Yeah, it's just a lot of pressure being put on them, and I think I lean more into not blaming, but saying production needs
done
better. Yes.
Yeah.
But there's still hope. I don't think it should be written off. I like everyone. I mean, I don't like everyone, but I don't despise anybody.
Right.
Like with others, I don't despise any. I don't really hate anybody in Housewives land. People just really rub me the wrong way. I dislike them strongly, but I do not hate them. So, but yeah, I think there's so much potential there.
Yeah, I feel like the women on this on New York that they thought would be like the kind of the gravity of the show, like the ones that others would orbit around, aren't necessarily as personalities. They don't have such personalities they were thinking.
It's also too
Jenna Lyons they thought could like command the show and get people, and was barely in this episode.
Barely.
And then
she got a black eye.
Yeah, and then
she reacted.
She's just very kind of.
Well, the thing is too, Ubah is also barely in it to a certain extent because they are not showing their full lives because they will not show their relationships.
Oh, that's true.
Like we get a full picture of Jessel and Pavit and Erin and Abe. Side not as much, but she's talked a lot about her mother, and like she's and their kids are there. Like there's so much more.
That's true. We get Racquel because she has everyone present in the county.
Very much, and like Brynn on this journey and whatever. So yeah, I'm like, if you're gonna be on the show, you need to
be on the show.
If your relationship is an important thing, unless you don't have a relationship,
right,
and you're like maybe not actively trying to date, especially not on the show, I see that. But if you are in love to the point where like you're talking marriage, kids, I need to see this Oliver person. I need to see Jenna's fiance or wife. I don't know.
You don't want to see her mother again?
That was such a compound.
You forgot about that, didn't you?
I did. That's the thing. So I'm not saying I need like so many scenes with like, like Ubah and Oliver and their love story, but like I need something. Because otherwise it's just like Ubah planning a picnic and then getting in a fight later on in the season with Brynn. That's so horrific that they can't come back from it.
Yeah, no, I can see what you're saying on that.
Yeah.
My whole thing is I think they thought that like Brynn would be polarizing enough where people would love and hate her at the same time. And I think you're just kind of like, eh. And then, I think the same is true for all the women on this show is that they're not polarizing enough to like really draw you in. And they're not like... Yeah, I'm kind of like...
Well, also, Brynn screwed herself because, as we said before many times, you see the acting, you see the pot stirring and self-producing.
Yeah.
And it's just not good.
And I think Erin just kind of has that, approachable, like, girl next door kind of thing where you don't feel one way or the other about her.
Yeah.
Ubah and Jenna, like you say, aren't all present. And we're getting... I guess Jessel was kind of a fan favorite last season.
She was the mate, like she was.
But I don't need 24/7 Jessel Pavit.
No, but what else is she gonna do? Like that's her story.
We need more Psy. Why aren't we getting more Psy?
Yeah, like I would want to see more so a Psy therapy session than a Jessel Pavit therapy session. And I'm curious about Psy's husband, but maybe they're good. There's nothing really to talk about there. But yeah, But I think she's shown growth,
right?
By going to therapy, by saying like I was acting inappropriately, Well,
she has some of the best looks too.
Oh my gosh,
I like what she wears. All her confessionals.
Yes,
I think she it's always fresh and just kind of
always the best dress.
That's something you're like, oh, of course she's dressed like that. You're like, okay,
yeah. I didn't expect that new confessional look.
There was something in today's episode where you were like, oh. can't remember who it was. Like, they came Racquel.
Racquel in that wig.
Yeah.
So Racquel was doing too much because I'm like, is that the same person? Like, she has like, I guess it's good to have like totally different looks in your confessionals, but like, I'm like, who that girl? Who's that girl in the bad wig? Oh, it's Racquel. Like,
it's not Madonna.
See it? Was it CNS?
Estanita.
I always said CNS Estanita because I didn't know what she was saying.
I'm assuming she's saying in Spanish, who is that? Who's that girl?
Who knows?
I could be wrong though. I mean,
I'm much more.
When I was like 10.
I'm much better with La Isla Bonita.
Yeah, that's much better.
It's also a better song. But yeah, Brynn? No, Sai.
Yeah, Sai.
Hopefully
she has like I guess that one episode where.
No. Racquel was saying.
Oh, with the
yes, her very versatile and with her hair, but I'm also like, who that?
Yeah. With Sai, I think that one episode where they were upstate.
That was so good.
That was her episode, but I want more Sai.
Yes, she is like the voice of reason now that she's like, therapized.
Yeah.
Therapized.
Anything can be a word if we try hard.
Yes. Hence pigeoning.
Yes, pigeoning.
Yeah.
So
again, so much potential to work with. Let's hope it comes around.
Like my high school guidance counselor felt about me.
You're gonna get into Fordham.
That was never gonna happen.
I pulled Fordham out of my ass.
Why Fordham? Where is Fordham?
I don't even know. I think it's in the east.
Well, everything's in the east when very little's in the west. The things that are in the west are all like Cal Berkeley,
Well, no, UCLA, USC.
Yeah, but they all have
Stanford.
They all have the name of the place they're in, and they're all here. Where's Fordham?
Jersey?
I'm probably Jersey. I didn't know for the longest time Princeton was in.
I was about to say that. I first heard about Princeton on the Cosby Show because Sandra went to Princeton. I had no clue where it was and that she was that close to home.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
where was Cosby Show based?
In New York.
Oh, I thought it was
in Manhattan. Yeah.
Manhattan, okay.
Yeah.
I thought they were in Philadelphia.
No, they have that super amazing
brownstone. Yeah.
Like, he's a doctor, she was a lawyer.
Much better than Sonia's brownstone. All right, I think we should put this one to bed.
Okay.
And we should talk more about this next time.
All right, until next time.